morning, everybody. It's good to be back again. It's been a while. Been out traveling with Richard, and last weekend I spent it with my parents. And if you think I'm winking at you during the lesson today, I'm not. I scratched my eye last week and it's still healing water. So I apologize for that. Tracy's home with a head cold today. And there's other stuff going on that, as we get older, it seems to pile up on each other. If you can avoid getting old, I highly recommend it. It is not fun. Today's Mother's Day, and while I was in Spokane with my parents, I got to looking at what my sister does for them. And that's where I come up with helping hands. She works full 40 hours plus in the insurance industry. And in the evening, she goes down and visits Mom. On the weekends, she's shopping for them, groceries, and herself. She runs everywhere to the doctors that they have appointments for, let alone her appointments. And so that's kind of where this lesson's coming from. So in the church, we talk a lot about being a family. Every one of us here is a Christ person. We are part of Christ Church. This is a picture from several years ago. There's people in there that are not with us anymore. Nevertheless, the most important thing is that we are family. Even though a lot of us here are related to each other, this is more important. It's fun to be part of a family when everything's going well, isn't it? You enjoy each other's company. You go out to parties together, birthday parties, graduations. We have graduations coming up. Don't forget that. That's going to be a good time. But it can also be challenging being in a family when there's something bad going on. All of you will grieve for that one person. You will try and help them. But again, it's being part of the family. During the writer of Peter, times were tough for the family of God. Jesus Christ had been sacrificed on the cross for stuff he hadn't even done. Persecution was happening. People were running scared. Those Jews who were converted were subject to a loss of their families, loss of their jobs, loss of their status in society. It was not an easy time being a Christian during this period. Today we're not facing the same level of persecution that was happening during those days, but we still go through many difficult things in this life. There's a lot of struggles that we go through. Where do we turn when we are struggling? Where do we turn when we feel we're being persecuted in some way? We should be able to go to our church family, and they will help us. I know anyone in here could give another person a phone call, and they will be there. What do we do when we see a brother or sister in need? Do we talk to them and pat them on the back and tell them it's okay, this will pass? Or are we willing to jump in there with them and give them the helping hand? About 2 months ago, Richard Johnston called me, and he said, "Hey, I'd like to talk about the Glenwood Church of Christ. They're short on ministers. There's only 2 people there." And he asked our congregation and theirs to get together and maybe send a speaker over every once in a while to give them a break. I said, "Well, yeah." So we brought it up at a men's meeting. And Richard asked me if I'd be willing to go over. I said, "Sure, I could drive you over sometime and have a good time there to visit people I hadn't seen before." Well, then he called me about 4 weeks ago, asked the same thing. "Hey, this weekend's coming up. Are you free?" "Yeah, Great, we'll take my car. I'll pay for food and gas. It sounds good. Richard, what time do you want to leave? 6:30. Great, I'm up at 5 anyway. Oh, by the way, you're giving a lesson. Okay, Richard, I got it. So we went over there 2 weeks ago. We went to Gleed. We had a great time traveling there. For some reason, Richard and I get along great. I thought it would be a quiet ride. Was I wrong? We talked about all kinds of things. We get there, and people are wondering, who's this guy? Like, it's been 10 plus years since I've been there. And he introduced me, and then, oh, yeah. When we first showed up, we were a half hour early. So we're sitting at the church waiting for it to be unlocked. I said, Richard, I need to use the facilities. Oh, well, Rick and Barbara's house is right up here at the top of the hill. So we drive around the Barbara's on the front deck. We pulled in, and she's looking at us like, who are these people? And we get out, and Rick come out of the house. Hey, guys, didn't know you were coming. Well, Terry forgot to tell them you were coming. And it just so happens Rick was the one to give the lesson that weekend. So he was really excited that I was there to give it. Made his life a little better. But it was a great time, and I enjoyed giving them a helping hand. So if you'll turn with me to Acts 3, first 8 verses. Acts 3, 1 through 8. Now Peter and John went up together into the temple at the hour of prayer, being the 9th hour. A certain man, lame from his mother's womb, was carried, whom they laid daily at the gate of the temple, which is called Beautiful, to ask alms of them that entered into the temple. Who, seeing Peter and John about to go into the temple, asked an alms. And Peter, fastening his eyes upon him with John, said, Look on us. And he gave heed unto them, expecting to receive something of them. Then Peter said, Silver and gold have I none, but such as I have I give thee. In the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, rise up and walk. And he took him by the right hand and lifted him up. And immediately his feet and ankle bones received strength. And he, leaping up, stood and walked, and entered with them into the temple, walking and leaping, praising God. Here's a lame guy that his friends were giving him a helping hand by carrying him to the steps so that he could ask for a living from those that were around him. And more importantly, Peter and John gave him the ultimate helping hand. By the power of Jesus Christ, he had the power to heal this man. Peter says, I'll give you what I have. I'm not a rich man. I'm a traveling preacher. But I do have the power of Christ to do something for you. He does a very important thing. He gives a man a helping hand to stand up and enjoy his life once again. Turn with me to Luke chapter 10. Luke chapter 10, starting with the 30th verse. Here's another example of a helping hand. Starting with the 30th verse. And Jesus answering said, A certain man went down from Jerusalem to Jericho and fell among thieves, which stripped him of his raiment and wounded him and departed, leaving him half dead. And by chance there came down a certain priest that way, and when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. And likewise a Levite, when he was at the place, came and looked on him, and passed by on the other side. But a certain Samaritan, as he journeyed, came where he was, and when he saw him, he had compassion on him. and went to him and bound up his wounds, pouring in oil and wine, and set him on his own beast, and brought him to an inn and took care of him. And on the morrow when he departed, took out 2 pence and gave them to the host, and said unto him, Take care of him, and whatever thou spendest more, when I come again, I will repay thee. Which now of these 3 thinkest thou was neighbor unto him that fell among the thieves? And the man said, He that showed mercy on him. Then said Jesus, Go unto him, go and do thou likewise. This wounded guy on the road, just laying there, had 2 people who were high up in the. One was a priest, and the other was a Levite. They came upon him, saw him, and they elected not to help him. In fact, they stepped to the other side of the room. The Good Samaritan knelt down, helped him, tended to his wounds when no one else would, put him on his donkey, and took him to a place to stay overnight. And he paid for his health care. He paid the innkeeper to watch over him, feed him, and if that money didn't cover it, when he come back through, he would pay for the rest. He provided a helping hand to the Jewish man. Who else in our lives has given us a helping hand? That would be the moms in our lives. You think about your mom and what they've done for you when you were a kid, and even now as we're middle-aged, most of us, some of us, our moms still do a lot for us. Since today's Mother's Day, I wanted to give a portion of my lesson in honor to them. Now, when we're young, our parents have sayings that everybody knows. We've heard them all. My mom taught me about religion by saying, you better pray that will come out of the carpet. She taught me about perseverance. You'll sit there until all that spinach is gone. I've sat in a chair personally for 2 hours before I was released. And she taught me about justice. One day you'll have kids, and I hope they turn out just like you. I got 3 of them sitting here that I claim, so beware. Especially those younger ladies that aren't married yet. It's coming. I want to share 3 thoughts about a mom's helping hand. The first one is her hands work. So my mom, her first, I hate to say real job, but full-time job, was as an operator for the phone company in the 1960s. And back at that time, you sat at a big desk with a bunch of cords. You get this phone call. I need to talk to Ruth on phone 953. Her job was to pull the cord out, plug it in, and connect it. She did that for many years. She married my real dad, and they had me. And turns out he wasn't a very nice guy. He was known to be in a lot of shady things at his work. He owned a gas station in Spokane. Laundering money, coercing other people, arson, all this kind of stuff. So she ended up divorcing him. And then, which was unheard of in those days, it's a real hard time. And then she met my other dad through the phone company. So that worked out real well. And she became a stay-at-home mom, and she did a lot for us as a stay-at-home mom. Tracy, when she's working, she comes home with after teaching all those little guys all day long. She still has the energy to spend with us, with the kids when they were younger. She took care of the household with us. A mom always working, it seems like. In Proverbs 31, we see that mothers do all kinds of work. She sews. This is shown in verse 13. She seeketh wool and flax, and worketh willingly with her hands. Verse 19. She layeth her hands to the spindle, and her hands hold the distaff. Also verse 22. She maketh herself coverings of tapestry, her clothing is silk and blue. Sharon's known as a sewer in our household. She's done a lot for us with costumes, table coverings, quilts, and that's a lot of work she puts in. In the Bible, purple symbolizes power, wealth, and prestige. Doesn't this sound like the qualities of a mom? If you look at a household, she is the powerhouse behind everybody there. She's a driving force in what everybody does. She also shops. Back in those days, shopping was a lot different. You just didn't go down to the grocery store, pick up a pound of hamburger, pick up vegetables. You actually went to a market, and you had to go quite some distance usually to the market for those people out in the countryside. They didn't have cars, so you had to walk there and walk back. That's a lot of work. Verse 14. She is like the merchant ships. She bringeth her food from afar. She goes out and hunts down food for her family and brings it back home. She cooks. How many of your moms cook for you? Quite a few of us do. Dry out. I like to cook at home. Sometimes I don't like what I cook, but that's the way it is. Tracy cooks a lot, and Sharon cooks a lot for us when we have family gatherings. Verse 15. She riseth while it is yet night, and giveth meat to her household and food for her neighbors. Back in the time of Jesus Christ, you had to get up before daylight to get everything started. You can't just open a can of Cheerios or soup or whatever and put on the stove. You actually had to prepare it. She also gardens. We bought our house and we built our property up and had a nice lawn going, and Sharon and Roger come over. Hey, can we put in a garden at your house? We got plenty of room out front. So we hired our guy up the street to come rototill it. It was a massive garden. Took a while for them to take care of it. We could reap the benefits of it ourselves. And that was awesome to see. This is also shown in the Bible. She considereth the field and buyeth it. With the fruit of her hands she planteth the vineyard. The moms in our lives sure do a lot of work. What about working long? I work a job that's 6:30 till 4 days a week. And on Fridays I work 4 hours. And I go home and do the lawn and water and weed eat, that kind of stuff. Tracy gets up, goes to school with all the little kids, comes home. Most often she's up doing stuff till 9, 10 o'clock at night. It just seems to be the way our life is. So in verse 15, she riseth also while it is yet night. The moms in our lives work hard and long. Verse 18. She perceiveth that the merchandise is good. Her candle goeth not out by night. They are up late working. Verse 27. She looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not the bread of idleness. Now, when I was a kid, after my mom got her divorce, we went to stay with Grandma and Grandpa and my uncle. So the two biggest influences I had at that time was my grandma and my mom. And they taught me a lot. Most of you know about those days. Nothing was fancy in our house. No extras. But Grandma and Mom worked hard cooking meals for us as a family. Cleaning house, washing clothes, putting out a garden, and taking care of the kids while we were still at home. A shout out to all those moms. Thank you, Mom, for all your hard work and helping hands. The second thought I had was her mouth speaks. Proverbs 31:26. She opened her mouth with wisdom, and her tongue is the law of kindness. Our moms have a lot of wisdom that they pass on to us, whether we're aware of it or not, and we apply it to our lives. When preacher John Wesley was a student at Oxford University in England, he was shocked by the amount of drinking done by the students. Like, well, when did he go? So I had to look it up yesterday. He was at the university in 1720. Can you imagine what you would think of our colleges nowadays? When I was going to Central, we had our party section. We had our engineering section. And I didn't tend to mix because I knew the trouble. His mom replied to one of his letters, "My dear son, remember that anything which increases the authority of the body over the mind is an evil thing." Jesus Christ teaches us that in the Bible also. Preacher Morgan had 4 sons, and they all became ministers of the gospel. At a family reunion, a friend asked one of the sons, "Which Morgan is the greatest teacher in your family?" Well, that son looked at his father. He replied, "Mom. She was the greatest preacher." Many mothers have done a lot of preaching to their children, whether they're aware of it or not. I don't remember much of what my mom and grandma said when I was little. Of course, that was 45 years ago. Who's counting? But I'm sure they had plenty to say to me. Their instructions and helping hands are part of me today and make me who I am. The third thought I had was a mom's heart always loves. Proverbs 31:11-12. The heart of her husband will safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. She will do him good, not evil, all the days of her lives. If the husband trusts in his wife, you know that he loves her. And it's the same the other way around. A man who was married to his wife for 60 years put on her tombstone, "She always made home happy." That's what love is. When there's a lot of laughter in a home, you just know that something good is happening. And of course, there needs to be more laughter in all of our homes. Proverbs 17:22. A merry heart doeth good like a medicine. When there's a lot of laughter in a home, someone is putting out good medicine. And it also shows that there's a lot of love there. The teacher at school put this question to little Jimmy in math class. Suppose your mother made a cherry pie and there were 10 of you at the table. Your mother and father and 8 children. How much of the pie would you get? Without even thinking, Jimmy said a 9th. No, James, that's not the right math. Now pay attention. There are 10 of you in the home. Don't you know your fractions? Yes, ma'am, he replied. I know my fractions. But I know my mom even better than she would not have me. She would have all the rest for us. The unselfishness of a mother shows a heart of love for her family. And all of us can remember many unselfish acts of devotions our mom made for us. Thomas Edison once said, "I did not have my mother long, but she cast over me an influence which lasted all my life." The good effects of her early training I could never lose. If it had not been for her appreciation and her faith in me at a critical time in my experience, I should never likely have become an inventor. I was always a careless boy, and with a mother of a different mental caliber, I should have turned out badly. But her firmness, her sweetness, her goodness were potent powers to keep me in the right path. My mother was the making of me. The memory of her will always be a blessing to me. In the Bible, we have directions we're supposed to follow in our lives. Some of these are hard and things we don't want to do, but we should. We need to. Jesus Christ and God have a firmness that we're supposed to follow. His sweetness is His love for us, and His goodness is that He gave His Son to die upon the cross for our sins, so that we can have a chance to enter into heaven. Mothers are truly a blessing to people. Proverbs 31, 28 through 31. This is from the New International Version. Her children arise up and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praiseth her. Many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excellest them all. Favor is deceitful, and beauty is vain. But a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised. Give her the fruit of her hands, and let her own work praise her in the gates. We need to extend our helping hands to those that are in need, just like Jesus and God will extend their helping hands to us when we hopefully enter into the kingdom of heaven. I'd like to end with our reading from this morning, 1 Peter 4, 7 through 10. But the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober, and watch unto prayer. And above all things have fervent charity among yourselves, for charity shall cover the multitude of sins. As every man hath received a gift, even so minister the same one to another, as good stewards of the manifold of the grace of God. We need to do what we can for anybody that we run into. If there's a person in need, ask him if you could help. If there's a fellow Christian that you don't see at church very often, give them a call and see what's going on. Maybe they just need somebody to talk to. So I encourage you just to keep open hands and friendship and love. That's all I have for you this morning. If there's any of us that would like to pray to the church on their behalf, I ask you to come forward during the song of invitation. And if you'd like to join the Christian Army, be part of Christ's family, we also offer that invitation through baptism. If you'd like that too, please come forward and let me know. Thank you.